It look like there's moves being made, serious moves down here in the Middle East. Start preparing yourself. We're going in, giving all the praise, honor, and the glory to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rakahak Wadash. Double honor to the elders of Great Millstone who told us this truth. A sincere Shalom Labakarium Shah Yash Allah. That's peace to the elect of the nation of Israel. What you're looking at right now, this is a map of Great Babylon, you know, aka America, the US of A. And this is the daughter of Babylon, Babylon the Great, that you read about in Revelations, that's destined for destruction according to the Bible, according to the Holy Scriptures. There's a lot of moves that's being made in planet Earth right now. All the prophecies are taking off like rockets, missiles, man. You know, we waiting for this meeting tomorrow. To my knowledge, I just heard a report that Iran backed out of the talks over there in Turkey, but we gotta, you know, we waiting to see. But now they've made a move. This is NY Prepper breaking. Iran seizes 2 ships over there. So we know the other day, less than 48 hours ago, they one of the America's Navy shot down a drone that was over there picking up intel, looking for those the missile alerts, you know, and they got what they was looking for. You know, this war is brewing. It's picking up lots of steam, just like the scriptures say, the least of the flock shall draw them out. And it's the Lord drawing all nations down to the valley of Jehoshaphat for judgment. That's the ultimate thing. You know, we're gonna get right into this video here. It's a lot transpiring behind the scenes. So our job is to prepare, because before you know it, you're gonna wake up and all hell is gonna be loose, and it's gonna be so incredibly dark and scary outside that men are going to be afraid. I tell you that men should be holding their stomach like a woman in travail, you know, for Jacob's trouble and for what's coming upon the earth. So this is the preparation time, you know, before the Lord allow these death angels to start getting busy, because the clock is ticking. We're not wasting time. You know, this is another 24 hours down to the second coming of Yahweh Shai, our Lord. This is Joel 3 verse 1 NLT. At the time of those events, says Yahweh, when I restore the prosperity of Judah and Jerusalem, and that's what's happening right now. You know, the stick is together, the northern, the southern tribe. The Lord is gathering his elect, the house of David. That's happening as I speak. So the Lord is in a rejoicing phase, the heavens, because the elect is being awakened for the kingdom of heaven. You need those men up and running to properly bring in the kingdom. You know, the kingdom stands on the shoulders of Yahweh Shai. You know, he's going to be at the top of the government. Then you have Yahweh Shai's men. So the elect, starting with the 144,000, they got to be up and running at this time. And it's the great awakening has happened. It says, I will gather the armies of the world. So now this is what the Lord is doing. Now the Lord is gathering, as the restoration, the reconciliation is taking place. You know, we received the names again. We know our identity. We know the mission. We know the will of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. We understand that we pilgrims here. This is not our rest. We're focused again. We know this is our punishment. We know that we're going back to the Holy Land. We know the Lord is about to restore planet Earth. So with the Lord waking up his men, as well as the elect lady, she's waking up also, the Lord is gathering these armies, man. This is extremely important, because this is when the devil going to make his final move. The top elites, the Rothschilds, man, the Rockefellers, the DuPonts, man, these guys at the top. This is when the chipping process is going to start. And like Apostle Tahar said within 6 months, they can already just be putting out commercials. Come and get it. There's a stimulus check connected to it. There's going to be some form of benefit and temptation to draw people out to take this device, because everything is spreading. Everything is starting. I will gather the armies of the world, and that's happening, into the valley of Jehoshaphat. Now, when you go into that word Jehoshaphat, is Yahweh Shaphat, okay, which is the Lord's name. Yahweh, he exists, or he lives. Shaphat, which is judgment. And this location is in what you call the Middle East. It's a very famous location when you go into the map and go into the history of where that valley is located. But for the sake of the video, let's just say the Levant, okay, what people know as the cradle of civilization. This is where the Lord is gathering, down there in the Middle East. That's why all this action is taking place, and the Lord is going to gather these armies. Something's going to happen. Maybe it's this event. Maybe it might be another event in the next 2 or 3 weeks. But we know the Lord is gathering trillions and trillions of dollars of hardware and material and armies down there for this judgment, man. I will gather the armies of the world into the valley of Jehoshaphat. There will I judge them. And that's going to be the Third World War, the nuclear bombs, for harming my people, the Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Indians, my special possession, for scattering my people among the nations, and for dividing my land, and for what they've done to the land of Israel down there. The elites got that land looking like Swiss cheese, man. So this is what we're looking at when we see in videos like this, and we hearing talks, peace talks, deals, which takes place with the dragons of Arabia, the neighboring Ishmaelite, known today as the Arabians. The word Arabian just means mix. Well, so you got the mix, Ishmaelites in that area about to come against the small hats. Now we got the whore down there. The whore going directly. So this thing is picking up speed.
It is Thursday, February 5th, 2026. And I have some breaking news to share with you guys. Right now it is 15:25 Eastern Time here in the United States. And I wanted to update you guys on the latest with Iran. So right now, this afternoon, we have U.S. nuclear forces on very high alert. We have 3 nuclear war command and control planes up in the air over the continental United States. These are the Boeing E-6B Mercury planes, also known as TACAMO. And these planes are responsible for communicating with submerged nuclear-armed submarines. So 3 of those up in the air right now, and then also 2 B-52 Stratofortresses over Louisiana. So for some reason, our nuclear forces are on high alert. I think it's related to the situation with Iran.
Slovakia. Come on, who's the... here we go.
And also, I wanted to share something interesting with you about President Trump's schedule for today. So this is the White House schedule, Thursday, February 5th. And here you can see, first of all, Trump has an intelligence briefing, or he had, at 11 a.m., and it lasted probably for several hours because it's not showing any end time for this intelligence briefing. So very long intelligence briefing that started at 11 a.m. in the Oval Office, okay? Intelligence briefing in the Oval Office, no set end time. Typically, these intelligence briefings last for 1 or 2 hours at the most, but the fact that they have no end time is very concerning. Also, at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, local time in Washington, D.C. tonight, Trump is going to be making an announcement at the South Court Auditorium, and the White House press pool will be there. So I don't know.
Get ready for the song and dance. We know this man is a forger alive, but he got to keep the West going. You know, they got to keep the propaganda, keep the lies going, that America's on top. You know, they still carry that bully spirit, the hegemony over Iran. And don't be surprised if no meeting happened tomorrow. You know, because they're supposed to meet. You know, and there's really nothing to talk about, but we know that we got to give that pony show. The pony show for the people, but behind the scenes, World War III is going to the next stage because this is prophecy. So they're not going to really tell you how many guns are down in the Middle East, how many nations are down. You have Russian destroyers down there in the Red Sea. They're not going to tell you that on Western media. But there's different things happening outside of, you know, what they telling you here. So they're telling what he's going to say at 7, but we know, according to the prophecies, what the Lord is doing, and it's happening fast. This thing is moving quick.
What that announcement is going to be, is it going to be related to Iran? There's supposed to be talks tomorrow in Oman between the U.S. and Iran. There were some mixed signals yesterday about these talks that are scheduled for tomorrow. Some sources were saying that the U.S. pulled out of the talks. Some sources were saying that the talks were still on because the Arab countries pressured the U.S. to continue with the talks, even though the Iranians backed out of any talks about ballistic missiles, proxies, or protesters. They only want to talk about nuclear.
Well, they're not going to stop. You know, the ballistic missiles is going to continue on. And today also was the deadline for that cap treaty on the nuclear missiles between Russia and America. So everything you're going to hear about is missiles flying, because this is the determination of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shah to gather the nations for Armageddon, for the final war. We're approaching the final war, so this war is going to be serious. And on the tail end of this war, we got the hour of testing. This is how you know the hour of testing is about this thing, the pressure is about to pick up. Ain't going to be too many moments of you know, sitting and, you know, we making these videos. You're looking at the president's schedule on, you know, YouTube. They about to shut things down. They about to lock this place down. And this is part of that straight gate we got to go through before the kingdom get here. But we know the Lord is moving quick. So the elect is getting stronger, right? You know, the knowledge is going out heavier. Take advantage of these videos. Take advantage of the spiritual insight. Take advantage of your leaders giving you this information at this time. Because it's coming a time where whatever you got, that's just what you got, man. Okay, let me jump down. I'm staying Joel 3, verse 9. It says, say to the nations far and wide, get ready for war. So this is the prophecy. You know, the kingdom of heaven comes in on the end of the tail end of World War III. And everybody's preparing for war. We don't care about the peace talks. The Lord said when they say peace and safety, then sudden destruction. So that's part of the end time prophecy too. Them claiming peace and safety. And only you Western Americans are believing that. You know, they getting the real outside of this country, man. And they know what's happening. Iran is standing up to the big bad bully. And why is Iran standing up? You got Russia. What's that? Russia, Chief Prince, Ezekiel 38. Right? You got China, Asia is involved. So they got the heavy hitters. So America, the dollar is weak. The Bitcoin dropped to 64. No one's trusting the dollar. The BRICS is doing good. They found a way around the SWIFT program. So no one's afraid of the big bad wolf anymore. America tried to put sanctions on Russia. I just looked at a loaf of bread in Russia, and it said 93 cents for a loaf of bread in Russia. Over here in America, you damn near paying $12 for a loaf of bread. So what's going on? Look, the Lord is bringing down Great Babylon. Well, it's time for the threshing, man. So once again, it says, say to the nations far and wide, get ready for war. Get ready for, and we telling you, you Edomites are going to war. There will be no dismantling of these warheads, man. These warheads was put together through the Spirit of the Lord. This is the second death that you read about in Peter's, man. This is the second death that's in Revelation. The fire is coming. And it's coming soon. That's why we preparing ourselves in the Spirit. It's no time to waste. Get ready for war. Call out your best warriors, and that's what's happening. You know, you got to think about China 30 years ago, a farming country. They riding around in bicycles. Now look at China. The first technocracy, facial recognition. They got social credit scores. They got all kind of things running in China. What happened? Well, they dumped all that money in there, including missiles. Now these weak countries, man, they looking big and bad. And listen, America is tiptoeing around this Iran thing. They got missile cities underwater. And the Pentagon knows that. So they just can't bully their way into Iran. Because these nations are strong now. They've been buying missiles, man. They've been trading with each other. They've been waiting for this day because this is the prophecy. All the bombs are going to come here. All the nations are going to shoot their missiles here and over there at the small hats. So this is no game. This is no game. Time is short. It said, call out your best warriors. Let all your fighting men advance for the attack. And they're getting ready to attack. It's just a matter of time. This thing is time sensitive. Babylon the Great has a penalty. It says your sins have reached heaven. So now the Lord is about to judge you. That's why the UFOs are in the air like crazy. Everything is set up. So there will be no peace talk, but we're going to see what they do tomorrow. We're going to see how this weekend's going to look. We know this is their Super Bowl weekend. They may pull something off. They may start next week. But we know we inching closer and closer to Armageddon, closer and closer to the Valley of Jehoshaphat, closer and closer to the MOTB. That means closer and closer to freedom. Our salvation is near. It's really nearer than we believe. Hammer your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears, which are weapons. Weapons, weapons, weapons. That's all they talking about. And Iran looking good out there, man. Why you think the small hats ain't attack Iran? Now, Iran used old equipment last year on them small hats, man. Iran got missiles upon missiles. They never expected Iran to build themselves up like that, but this is the Lord. They beat them farming, subsidies, all that money they was getting for that oil from this place here, Babylon, and they was turning it into missiles, man, and dealing on the black market behind America's back with Russia. Now the team is looking strong. And now Trump running around trying to cool the situation. But look, man, the elites are using this guy. This guy's a puppet, but you can't offset prophecy. It is what it is because the kingdom of heaven is on its way. So we preparing for Esau's kingdom to fall. Train your weaklings to be warriors. So now all these weak countries, man. Look at North Korea. North Korea out here looking good. They said they got a missile that can reach New York City. They never seen that coming. So all these nations are super prepared for this third world war. Come quickly, all you nations everywhere. Gather together in the valley. And now, O Yahweh, call out thy warriors. And this is when Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah gets involved. The UFOs all over the sky. This place is under investigation. The Lord said he will make an inquisition of this place and investigate it. And all the operations are being controlled from the fourth dimension anyway. Yeah, the kingdom is about to come. The kingdom is coming quick, man. Quick. It says, let the nations be called to arms. Let them march to the valley of Jehoshaphat. There, I, Yahweh, will sit to pronounce my judgment upon them. And that's why everything has ended up in the Middle East. So keep your eyes on the East, man. Keep your eyes on these prophecies, man. The hell with the media talking about. Because they're going to keep on trying to kick this can down the street till they can't kick it no more. And something's going to happen because America's going to have to make a move because this dollar is done. And they're going to do a Black Swan event here with all the shit that's going on with you Babylonians. And you're going to find yourself trapped in your damn front room, man, with the windows down, looking crazy as hell. Because y'all ain't preparing. You ain't preparing your soul for what's about to go down.
So we'll have to wait and see what happens, but some kind of announcement at 7 p.m. Eastern time from the South Court Auditorium. I'm going to see if I can stream that live in my continuous 24/7 live stream. So tune in to my live stream at 7 p.m. I'm going to try to get that up on the screen for you guys, and we'll go through it together.
Most investors focus on the same crowded trade ideas. Technology, AI, crypto.
And earlier today, 2 ships were seized in the Persian Gulf by the Iranian IRGC forces. 15 foreigners were detained. This was reported by the Iranian state media. So 2 days ago, an IRGC small gunboat started harassing a U.S. oil tanker, which was then rescued by an American destroyer. And then today, 2 ships of unknown size were seized by the IRGC. So this is definitely not going to help Iran in their negotiations with the U.S. And Iran's army spokesperson warned that U.S. military bases in the region are highly vulnerable, stating that Iran has easy access to American positions and is fully prepared to defend itself against any military scenario. Wow.
Yep, look at that. Call all your weaklings to the battle. They don't know. They have stepped into some dog shit right here. This is why America got to tread slowly over there in the Middle East, man, with them Ishmaelites at this time. Because they never prepared for these. They didn't think that they was going to be so prepared. Iran is over-prepared, man. They got all the locations. They knew this was coming. And they getting all this help from the bear, Russia. And now you got China involved. So we going to see this thing is going to escalate. Once it starts snowballing, it's going to plow quickly. And then you're going to see all the rest of the prophecies, end-time prophecies pop off in the midst of this war, man.
And the Iranian top general said today, we have strengthened our deterrence capability by modernizing ballistic missiles in all their technical aspects. And this morning, the U.S. Transportation Command, or TRANSCOM, began the mass movement of U.S. ground troops to the Middle East. Numerous 747 aircraft configured for troop movement began taking off from the continental U.S. towards Europe, with final destinations showing places like Kuwait. At least 450 people per flight. A passenger-configured Boeing 747 operated by U.S. Transcom through Atlas Air tail number N482MC with 453 seats departed Baltimore with a routing through Ramstein Air Base before continuing to Kuwait. Numerous other flights are ongoing. Wow, so this is very serious, guys. Massive buildup of U.S. ground forces. Maybe they're going to try to seize control of Tehran, and they're not just thinking about airstrikes, but they're going to send troops on the ground to make sure that no one's left after the airstrikes in Tehran.
Yeah, so you see all the chips are being put in proper position, you know? And this is, like I said before, this is ultimately the Lord's determination, you know? So we waiting patiently for Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh's return, man. And as you can see, this thing is going down. Ain't no time to waste. The Lord is moving all the chess pieces. So while you looking at TV, thinking that it's a regular day. Now, it ain't a regular day because you don't hear it on your Hot 97. Things are happening right over your head, man. This is not a regular time here. This is, what's that? Hold on a second. Let's get this here. And I'm going to close this out, but I just wanted to let you know, just despite what they say tomorrow, we've come to this agreement with y'all hear it. The equipment is out. So sooner or later, this is Zechariah. It's Zephaniah 3:8. That's what I want. Not Zechariah. Zephaniah. Sooner or later, this third world war is going to be on and it's going to be popping. This is Zephaniah 3:8. Therefore, wait ye upon me, saith Yahweh Bahashem Yahushua, until the day that I raise up for the prey. So the Lord is raising up, man. I tell you, his determination is to pay these nations back for what they've done to the children of Israel. And this is the day of judgment. As he raised up his elect in this day. GNT, just wait. Yahweh says, wait for the day when I raise to accuse the nations, and they're being accused. You know? Even the citizens, you're involved. You Babylonian citizens, you're involved with this, man. You know, you right wing, left wing, whatever. You know, all the nations at the UN, you know, y'all all took part with the destruction of the children of Israel. The Lord said, you made a tumult, man. You know, you said, let's cut off the name from existence. You gave gifts one to another, man. That was us. Y'all took part in the destruction of the land. Y'all know that land ain't they land over there. But everybody's sitting back. You thought you was going to get away with this. Now we in a time of judgment. And the Lord is putting this together. Y'all looking at us on the street corners and looking at these videos, you need to be looking up in the sky. You need to be checking out these ships that's watching your nuclear bases. You know, you better start checking out this international news, man, and listening to channels like this. You know, NY, 24. So you get the real of what's going on and what's happening. This thing is happening. It says, wait for the day when I will rise to accuse the nation, and that's what we doing. You nations are being accused. And you're going to draw your asses right down into the Middle East because the Lord going to make you. I have made up my mind to gather nations and kingdoms in order to let them feel the force of my anger. And now y'all about to feel it. Because those bombs, or nuclear bombs, was put together by the Smith that was created by Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, those scientists. Oppenheimer and, Einstein. Why you think the Lord birthed them in the earth and gave them the understanding of enriching uranium, and splitting the atom? That was a God-given talent right there. But that was to bring in this anger, this indignation. And now we at the point where all this is about to be used to bring in the kingdom. This is how the kingdom of heaven comes in. The whole earth will be destroyed by the fire of my fury. And that's those weapons, man. Also including the UFOs that will be using, technology that was used in Sodom and Gomorrah to burn, that place down. So this, we in a time when it's going to blow your mind. That's why I tell you the strangeness of the salvation. This world ain't ready for what you about to see, but you about to see it. And you see all this is going down for a reason. All this is happening. And then all the pieces are being moved in position. We getting ready to get out of here, man. The Lord's elect, hold on to your faith. This ain't the time to get weak and start doubting. Nah. Your eye should be single. Keep your eye. Let me end with that. Because the Lord ain't playing. Believe in his word, man. Believe in these prophecies. Despite the hell that, Satan might be putting on you and at your job, with your woman, with your money. Yeah, that's part of the straight gate. These personal battles, but the Lord word standing sure. We want to be on the side of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua when this happens, because this thing is going down. Let me get this here. This is Matthew 6, and where we at? Heaven, the light of the body. Let's get the light of the body. Okay, Matthew 6, verse 22. The light of the body is the eye, and that's what the Lord turned on. Our spirit, the eye salve. Now we have the unction and anointment. Now we can see. But you don't want to go back to sleep right now. Not right now. Not right now. We are close. The light of the body is the eye. If therefore thy eye be single, keep your eye single. Don't start being double-minded, splitting your loyalty. Well, I'm going to make me ain't no backup plans. You're going to just find yourself having to go down there and take a chip until the bombs come. And then you might get thrown in a concentration camp. The Lord ain't going to take it easy on traitors, man. You best believe that. The Lord is not going to take it easy on traitors. It says the light of the body is the eye. If therefore thy eye be single, and then when you go into this, that's mean whole. You whole. You got to see 100% truth, and you focus. You focus on the kingdom. Thy whole body shall be full of light. And you got the men with the lights in their eyes walking around planet Earth right now, reporting and searching Jerusalem with candles. That's the prophecy. The prophets are back. It says, but if thy eye be evil, well, these the traitors, man, as well as the 2/3, they out here with the evil eye, telling you everything is going to be okay. If a camp is telling you that everything is going to be okay, or that we are just going to zip into the kingdom from here, that's an evil man. That's a man that has an evil eye. They should be giving you the real right now. The whole truth. No, there will be a chipping process before those bombs fly. If any camp is out here telling you, yeah, the war's heating up and we're going to be right into the kingdom without Jacob's trouble and the chipping, that man is evil. That man is evil, and you to get away from him. You use your discernment. So we're in a great time of deception. You know what this year was named, spies and apostasy. That's the year. Traitors. So it says, but if thy eye be evil, thy whole body shall be full of darkness. If therefore the light that is in thee be darkness, how great is that darkness? In a time like this, you got people walking around with blinders, man. Waiting for the next high, trying to get a bag. You Bitcoin, you got a lot of people sad right now because Bitcoin dropped down to like 65. They out here looking stupid. Well, there's going to be more people, man. More people going to look crazy because they're going to find out the men on them corners, and then I'm speaking about the men of Great Millstone, they've been telling the truth this whole time, giving all the praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Chahakwadash. Double honor to the elders of Great Millstone who told us this truth. Shalom.